Truth is that God can grow you in so many different aspects that you don't even tend to realize that God can grow you in your worst weakness, right? Your weakest part is where you can grow the most. And we realize, like, yeah, we have strengths, but sometimes we get caught up in our strengths being our strengths and not growing those strengths, right? So then we look at our weaknesses. Satan's going to attack that weakness, right? But God is also going to attack that weakness. Let me give you an example. So if you are weak in discernment, right? Satan is going to attack you in that area, right? He's gonna throw random people in your way, right? He's gonna throw the world in your way to see, oh, let's see who he chooses to put in his circle. Let's see who he gives his time to. Let's see if he gives time and energy to talk to this person or these people, right? Satan's going to test you like that, but you know how God's going to strengthen that weakness? Through his word, right? He's going to put things in front of you to inspire you and motivate you to want to improve, right? God can fix your weakest weakness. And you don't realize how many weaknesses you have because we are sinners, right? And so we fall short of the glory of God. And those who fall short of the glory of God, as long as they don't stay in that sin, right? As long as you know that you need to ask God for forgiveness, you need to approach God in a way to where you have a forgiving heart and a forgiving soul and a forgiving spirit, and that you have a renewed and changed mindset, and you will not do that sin again, then that's how you will improve and you will continuously strengthen. Now, you know how they say sometimes you have to fall and then you have to pick yourself back up, right? You have to fall and get back up, right? It's like when you make a mistake and you have to bring yourself up from that mistake, whether a terrible mistake or a super bad mistake or even the smallest mistake, right? We all have weaknesses, right? People in the Bible had weaknesses, right? Adam and Eve had weaknesses. Abraham and Sarah had weaknesses. Even Joseph and David had weaknesses, right? But you know how they all improved? It's because they improved in God, right? It is something special about God's love that captivates and cultivates us to want to improve and want to strengthen our relationship with Him. There is something about the Spirit of God that when He enters your spirit and your heart, it it's so infectious that it makes you want to improve those weaknesses, right? Maybe you have a weakness in being gluttonous, right? You like overindulging in food, or you like overindulging in lustful things, or you like overindulging in, I don't know, going to parties, drinking, smoking, overindulging, and even overindulging in trying to make money. Like, you need a limitation, but that's a weakness, right? That is a weakness that you go through, right? When I'm talking about money, it's a love of money, right? You love money. You love money so much that that's your life. You're being gluttonous, right? That's a sin, right? And then you start making money your idol. We all have weaknesses. Sometimes you may be going through something and you have a weakness in doubting yourself, right? Something simple as doubting yourself is a weakness, right? I've been there. I've been there before. You're not the only one. I've doubted myself in many different circumstances, right? There's a difference between being humble about yourself and then being confident, and then like you got your overconfidence and then your confidence, right? And then humbleness and meekness, right? Being meek isn't being weak, right? The Bible talks about being meek in spirit, right? Being humble, being um, what is the word? Being meek, but not being weak, standing strong in yourself, but always allowing yourself to learn, take a back seat sometimes, right? Allowing yourself to learn, to look around you, right? Because a lot of people have this type of spirit to where they think that they can't improve. And it's like, bro, being not having meekness is a weakness. Feel me? Being prideful is a weakness, right? Now, there's a difference between in the prideful I'm talking about. You could be prideful in a positive light, or you could be prideful in a negative light, where you're berating yourself and you're putting yourself on this pedestal to where you think you're almighty and above everybody. That's where the issue lies. But a humbleness in spirit is what you want. We all have weaknesses. You may have a weakness that's like going to the gym trying to improve your body, right? Trying to get your guns right. You're trying to get bigger arms, bigger legs, get get fit, trying to get a six pack, whatever the case may be. Maybe lose weight, right? We all have weaknesses, right? You go to the gym and you're lifting, you're like, man, you're struggling to lift. You're struggling to like lift this weight. But that's the struggle. That's the beauty in the struggle, right? It's not, weaknesses aren't always a bad thing. There's beauty in the struggle. What did J. Cole say? Beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success, right? Beauty in the struggle, ugliness in the success. Because success, a lot of times, is ugly, right? You got to get out. Some people got to get it straight out the mud, straight out, straight from the bottom, straight from the beginning, straight from nothing, right? Some people have to, they have these weaknesses and then they start strengthening it and building them up and they build them up, right? That's like when you build a new business or you start a new business, right? Or a clothing line, and you have to you have to start from scratch. Think of the ideas, how you're going to manufacture. You have to get people around you. Even if you start it by yourself, you have to kind of know people. You have to get it running on your own if you end up doing it on your own. But you have to know the steps and everything. You're gonna have to take, you have to learn things. You have to learn lessons. You have to take some classes. You're gonna have to read some books, and that's not fun because you wanna be successful so quick. You don't realize you have a weakness, right? Because every single step is gonna have some type of weakness. What am I trying to say in this video? Not only can you strengthen your own weaknesses, right? If you're motivated and you grind hard enough to strengthen those weaknesses, but God can enhance those weaknesses and make them strengths. Your strengths are already your strengths, right? You know what you're good at, even if you don't realize. Even if you don't realize what you're good at, you are good at it. But how the Holy Spirit works is it doesn't attack you, it pushes you to want to do more, to want to grow. It pushes you. Satan is trying to derail you. God is trying to uplift you. There is a difference. God doesn't want to take away from you. He doesn't take away from you. He gives, he pushes, he proceeds. Satan takes away, confuses you, makes you feel like you're nothing. You have to know the difference between the two. That's why it's so important that when we read and we break these verses down, that we know what God is telling us. You can't just be so surface level with everything. But the whole point of this video is if you have weaknesses, allow God to work on them, and you have to work on them as well. If there are weaknesses and they are bothering you, they are bothering you the right way. You have to want to improve your weaknesses, whether that's hitting the gym, whether that's hitting the gym actually multiple times a day, whether that's studying multiple times a day, whether that's reading your word multiple times a day, whether that's writing in your notes multiple times a day, writing in your journal. Whatever you got to do to game plan for your life to improve those weaknesses, you have to make time, you have to do it. But I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. God is trying to improve your weaknesses, bro. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Discord, link in the description. Thank you for watching. And as always, stay blessed.